Hey guys, we're back here. A little hiatus. Lot to talk about. I'm gonna get into the present real quick and talk about a little Olympics because there's a few things that's eye-opening that I feel are noteworthy to mention. First, we'll go to hoops, my secret favorite sport, basketball. Since the '92 Olympics, excuse me, the first one I can really remember when we put our pros in, it's been some hell of a story. So in 1976, we would always send our amateurs. Now I don't know if you guys know about this, but a lot of fuckery happened at those Olympics, which started the ball rolling to where it is today. Um, Russia was down to us. I think it was the gold medal game, and they had like a few seconds on the clock. They did their play, missed, and the refs were like, "Whoa, whoa, we didn't say start. Run it over." Russia, they did another play with a few seconds and made it and won the game. Totally robbed us. To this day, the Americans have never picked up those silver medals. That was '76. Still sent our amateurs because we were so far ahead of the rest of the world. 80, 84 come. 1988 comes. Danny Manning, bunch of good collegiates. David Robinson. No joke, but collegiates. We get beat. We get beat. And then we start thinking of where the game is going, evolution, and why do other countries get to send grown men, 30-year-old, 28-year-old veterans that have been playing pros for years against our kids? Just because we're better in that sport means that you got to make it unfair. So in '92, we decided to come with the dream team. But it wasn't just like an NBA Olympic team today. It was like we're gonna make a point here to the rest of the world. It was we're gonna send our 12 best basketball players on earth in the NBA, and we're gonna go out there, smash you, and put everybody back in their place. That's why I love, like, we were so far ahead of the rest of the world. We were winning by 70, 80. Like, it was crazy. Jordan, it was a celebration. It was amazing because I never saw pros in the Olympics. So when the dream team went out there, it was like, it was awesome. I love the first day of interviews when Charles Barkley said, I don't know much about Angola, but Angola's in trouble," and they were. And then that game, I'm sure you guys all saw The Last Dance, where Tony Kukoc had already been signed by the Bulls, and he was waiting to come over. And they were yet to finalize Pippen's deal, the guy that got him the first three championships, and they were very upset about that, him and Jordan, and they annihilated Kukoc and shut him down. And long story short, we showed who was back. However, 12 years later, I'm sitting in my shore house in Barnegat back then and watching the 2004 Olympics. And, we stayed on that dream team thing for a few, and then we got cocky again. We sent Dream Team 2 out in '96, and they had Olajuwon, and I thought Olajuwon was from Nigeria, but I guess he had dual citizenship, but he played for us. We had Olajuwon, we had a real good team again. Then we had the Redeem team. I forgot if that was '08 or '12, but we had solid teams from '92 all the way up, except for that '04 team in the middle. I'm watching the '04 team. I'm watching Allen Iverson, prime. LeBron James, young, but LeBron James. We had a lot of good players out there, but they did not complement each other. And Argentina, I believe, kicked our ass pretty good in the gold medal game. And our pros got beat. I watched it. I know a lot of you guys might not remember it, but our pros got beat. And it was go check out the 2004 Olympic USA basketball roster. And we're in scrubs, and we got beat. And it just shows you how close the world is catching up. So now, fast forward. I see the roster that's coming out this year, and I'm like, that looks like She got Olin Bean's team, JaVale McGee at center. I mean, the world's catching up, man. So I predicted that we're not going to win the gold this year. That's my prediction. I think we're going to get knocked down, disappointed, and embarrassed. And the real way you know that the world is catching up is when you're actually worried about the other team's rosters. We got Kevin Durant, Damian Lillard, Booker. Like, think about the guys we have. We lose to, who did we lose to? Nigeria a couple weeks ago. We lost the first round. And then finally we beat Iran. I don't know much about Iran, but I don't know a lot of Iranian basketball players. So they must have probably been a weak team, and we beat them. But I'm worrying about who's on France, who's on Australia. And then you're looking, you're like, oh, Australia, well, they got Joe Ingles and Dellavedova, and like, we're worried about them. Like, what is going on? We're not as dominant. We send shit players out there, and every other team's got 4 or 5 pretty good NBA players. We're talking about an almost even tournament. So I wouldn't get too excited about the USA men's basketball team. I don't know. I saw Italy's got Gallinari and a couple players. Argentina, they're not even in the top 5. They got a bunch of NBA players. Nigeria, France. Who the hell is on France? I haven't even paid attention yet. Frank Ntilikina? I don't know. France has a hell of a team, but I don't know. I don't know if we're going to make it to the Olympic baskets because we didn't send our best team out, but I don't really care. But another thing, it's the psychology of sport. These teams have all been playing together. These country national teams, they take pride in it. And if you want to know anything about pride, check the Slovenia game the other night. Anybody see Luka Doncic? Oh, Don Luka the Don, scored 47 points. And I had the other side. I had Argentina. Because Slovenia never qualified for the Olympics ever. Ever. And I'm thinking to myself, all right, Argentina, like they're always top 2, 3. You know, I know Slovenia's got the Luka factor, but Luka could only do so much. Well, he did so much. And at the end of the first quarter, he had 21 points. And Olympic basketball is 10-minute quarters. NBA is 12-minute quarters. This freaking kid scored 47 points. And it was funny because right after the NBA Finals, a week and a half ago, whatever it was, last week in the beginning, I'm driving to the shore with my cousins. And my cousin Anthony said, hey, John, if you had to start your franchise right now, would you take Luka Doncic or the Greek Freak? And it was fresh out of my mind, that play where he was defending Devin Booker on the pick and roll alley-oop, and he was on Booker, and when Booker threw the alley-oop, he crossed to the other side and blocked it, and I sat up like I only did a few times in my life. Like I sat up 4 times in my life probably, like that I could remember. Jordan, Kobe twice when he was real young and I was watching him on a Sunday afternoon in Orlando. I'm going up my head. So if you could think of anything, and if you could look up Bryant in the first 2 or 3 seasons, I saw him score like 45 and a half or something crazy in Orlando and just go above and beyond. And I said, whoa, this guy's going to be something special. So with Jordan, so with Kobe, so with LeBron in the Olympics when he was 19, even though they got beat, he did things that day that made me say, oh, okay, this guy's going to be something special. The 4th time in my life I saw that was Greek Freak in the finals. The way he played harder than everybody, the way he sold out, what was inside showed me just as much as what was outside. That guy is a winner, and he's going to continue to be a winner because of his mental makeup more than anything. Physical's tremendous, and the mental matches it, which will make him an all-time great when it's said and done. I'm projecting 3 to 5 rings for Giannis. So then, you see how high I am on Giannis, right? So I go through this whole spiel with my cousin, and I told him, I think as much as I love Luka Doncic, I might have to go with Giannis. And then we're watching the Olympics, and I bet Argentina, small, because Slovenia never qualified in the history of their country's existence in the one player thing. So then I see Luka take the court, and I don't know what name you want to use, Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, anybody. This kid put his country on his back. Number one, the skill. Number two, the pride he was playing with. This guy looked like the best player at the park. You ever go to the park and the best player at the park is just like, that's way better than everybody. He's doing a little too much, but he's the best player at the park and they're on all day? That's what Luka looked like. There wasn't a lot of, normal team ball, but this guy took over and he went for 47 points and the win in his first Olympic game. And it just brings me back that question from my cousin Anthony was not that easy. Luka Doncic is like, he reminds me of like, I'm going to stereotype it to white guys because of optics. This could be the next Larry Bird, man. It's amazing. I don't know. I can't say enough about Luka. If my cousin asked me that question again today, I don't know, man. Toss up. Luka, Greek Freak, who I'd start a franchise with. I'm leaning Greek Freak, but after getting surprised more and more and more with Doncic, it's really hard to leave him off a team too. I don't know what's going to happen with these Olympics. I got my eye on France, Australia, the United States, of course, and a little bit outside, Italy. Czech Republic's supposed to be decent, and the United States has to play them soon. But it all depends. I'm glad Draymond Green went up to Lillard after the first loss and said, listen, we need you to be Damian Lillard. Sometimes we got all those stars. Everybody plays tentative, and then they don't want to step on each other's toes. Then you end up going to the locker room with an L in the first game of the Olympics. So it's going to be interesting. We'll see. There's a lot going on right now. I just wanted to touch on the Olympics and where we're going with the hoops because we got to talk about Biles, the greatest athlete maybe ever in gymnastics, that as soon as one thing physically happened off, she went to pieces mentally. Call it mental health, call it whatever you want, but in the spirit of competition and sport, only the strong survive. And I don't mean to sound insensitive, but if you're Simone Biles, right, and you're out there and you have one bad run and you quit and you say, well, I don't want to hurt the rest of my teammates, I'm just going to go. Simone, you're the greatest that's ever lived. Number one, why did you get into the sport? Why did you start as a little kid? Because you loved it. If I could speak to Simone Biles right now, I would tell her, listen, you've been at the top of the mountain. You're ready to go. Now, if you sit out, especially next week with the individual stuff, you'll probably regret it for the rest of your life because you're at the Olympics. Now, are you letting your team down? Are they, you're letting them down by not participating. Did you see the look on those three girls' face when they announced she wasn't going to finish? They dropped. She's letting her team down by not trying to get the fortitude up and anything she could find to compete. Because even if she fails, it's okay. There's nothing wrong with failure in life. Even if Simone Biles takes that, whatever you call it, I'm not a gymnastics expert, and fails, at least she tried for her teammates. And for the rest of their lives, they don't have to look at her like she quit on them. Because you know what? They have pressure too. They're in Tokyo too. They went through the pandemic. Everybody's going through the same stuff. I have a lot of respect for mental health. I've had hard days in my own life, periods of time. I understand it. But I also understand the psychology of sport. And I believe that she will regret it if she doesn't go for it and get back out there. because sitting around and quitting is never the answer. The name of the game is survival. In sports, in business, in life, the name of the game is survival. And anxiety and fear and these depression feelings, these are normal feelings. These are emotions that most of us go through in life, unless you have a perfect nervous system, maybe 1 in a million. But anxiety, fear, things like that, we all go through these things. And if I could say anything to Simone Biles, it would be to get out there, do what you love to do, and don't worry about outside pressure. The feel of the weight of the world on your shoulders is your own perspective. You could change that in your own mind and not feel anything. It's inside of you to be unlocked. So I feel bad for this kid, Simone Biles, because she's going to pieces in front of the world's eyes. And when you think about things like that, you think of Chuck Knobloch for the Yankees years ago, just forgetting how to throw to second base and never getting it back. These mental hurdles, like Markel Fultz with the triple twitch and he never could shoot again. Like, I'm worried about her, but you very rarely see it at the top of the food chain. That would be like a Jordan or LeBron or somebody just saying, like, I can't do it. Like, you don't expect that from the champion of the champions. So that's where it's a little surprising. But we got a lot going on. I still have yet to see the my fun stuff, the track and field. I want to see the fastest man, the 100 meters, all that stuff. I don't think that's started yet. But I'm happy to be seeing the basketball. And I'm very curious to see if we get gold. I'm going to call it now and say no. I know you younger guys probably can't even fathom that, but I cannot get that 2004 team out of my head. So when you click me off or you stop listening to me, look up the 2004 Olympic basketball team. We got our ass whipped. And I remember having good players. So nothing's going to come easy. But Olympics are cool. We're going to, Olympics are Olympics. But I got a lot on my mind, and I got a fever. And it's nothing on the news related. I got a fever for the NFL. Aaron Rodgers is coming. Deshaun's at camp. Everything's all messed up in the league. We don't know what's what. And I got a lot to talk about. So when I drop the NFL video pretty soon, in an hour, maybe in the afternoon, check that out. There's some amazing team futures. Who's going to win how many games? Remember, it's a 17-game season. So we're going to talk about that. And we got over-unders on individual players' yards, catches, touchdowns. I can literally do a 3-hour show on that. And I might, by myself, because I can. But, so we got a lot to talk about in the NFL. Sports is heating up. If you guys haven't caught on already, the only month of the whole year where every sport is going is the kid's birthday month, October. It's coming around the corner. You got the Major League Baseball World Series. You got NBA starting up, NHL, and NFL right in the middle. So, and soccer is going too. I'm a soccer fan now. So my cousins got me into that. So we got a lot going on. We're going to have a lot of fun. And we're going to have all different flavors. Depends what kind of day we're having, who's here, who's on the show with me, what type of mood I'm in. Sometimes it'll be analytical and serious. Sometimes I'll be a straight maniac, just joking around and in one of them moods. It all depends. But the main thing is that we all have fun. And if you're in here with me and you're listening, always remember the purpose for this is enjoyment. Life is tough enough. And sometimes you need a little enjoyment, and I'm sick of the politics when I go to put sports stations on. So I decided to do something about myself and talk sports. I don't need Stephen Racist apologizing for being a racist against Shohei Ohtani, and the first sentence out of his mouth is what ethnicity he is. I don't even want to get into it because it turns my stomach, and I don't want to offend anybody because I don't have any problems with anybody, but you have a problem with me. So we're going to wrap this up, and I will talk to you guys soon, and get ready. We got a lot going on. Just dropping a little bit of content at a time until we really get heated up. Peace.